No matter how attractive, how successful, or how exciting someone seems, none of it matters if they don't treat you well, because what shines on the surface often hides what truly matters underneath. It's easy to be impressed by appearances, by confidence that fills a room, by achievements that speak loudly, by charm that feels effortless. But none of them tell you how a person will treat you when there is nothing to gain. That part reveals itself quietly, not in big moments, not in public displays, but in the small, unnoticed interactions that most people ignore. The way they speak when they're not trying to impress, the way they respond when things don't go their way, the way they treat people who cannot offer them anything. That is where character lives. Because character is not performance, it does not depend on who is watching. It does not change based on what can be gained. It is consistent, even in silence, even in private, even when it's inconvenient. There are people who know how to appear kind. They say the right things. They show up when it's visible. But over time, patterns begin to speak, not loudly, but clearly. Attention fades when it's no longer needed. Respect becomes selective. Presence turns inconsistent. And slowly, what once felt real begins to feel conditional. Watch how they treat their friends. Watch how they speak about people who are not present. Watch how they act when no one is watching. These moments are not random. They are patterns. And patterns don't lie. Someone who disrespects others will eventually disrespect you. Not just to what people say, but to what they do. Because words can be shaped. They can be adjusted to fit the moment. They can be used to create an image. But actions require alignment. They reveal intention without explanation. They expose truth without effort. And over time, they always tell the real story. There is a quiet trap in being drawn to what looks impressive. You begin to excuse things. You justify behavior that doesn't sit right. You overlook patterns because the person still feels special in some way. But admiration should never cost you your peace, because the way someone treats you is not a detail. It is the foundation of everything. Without respect, nothing lasts. Without consistency, nothing feels safe. Without care, nothing feels real. And no amount of charm can replace that. No level of success can justify the absence of basic human decency. You don't need someone who looks good in your life. You need someone who shows up well in your life. Someone who is present. Someone who is consistent. Someone who treats you with the same respect in private as they do in public. Because real character does not fluctuate based on convenience. And when you encounter that kind of person, you feel it. Not through words, not through promises, but through peace, through the absence of confusion, through the quiet certainty that you are valued, not managed, respected, not tolerated, seen, not used. And once you experience that, it becomes impossible to accept anything less, because you realize that real connection is not built on how impressive someone is, but on how they make you feel over time. Safe, respected, considered. That is what matters. Not the image, not the status, not the excitement, just the truth of how they show up. And in the end, that is the only thing that was ever real.